Coming up, a walkout against sexual assault on campus. Plus, NAU students making a difference by reducing food waste. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Matt Keenitz.
And I'm Michaela Richardson. Thanks for tuning in.
There have been a number of sexual assaults reported on the NAU campus so far this semester.
A group of NAU students organized a walkout this afternoon to address what they allege is the mishandling of sexual assault cases by NAU's Title IX office, who deals with these types of cases. Passions and solidarity ran high as students shared their stories of sexual assault at the Title IX office. Organizers say they want to bring justice to sexual assault victims who feel wronged by Title IX.
I decided to personally march on this because I have been raped 3 times in my life, and I'm tired of seeing victims silenced. I'm tired of seeing nothing being done and nothing happening to the person who should be accountable.
The walkout coordinators encouraged participants to stay silent during the protest, except for individuals who chose to share their stories.
Our main goal of this is, yes, to make change, but also give a voice to these people whose voice has been silenced for so long.
The goal of this walkout? Hold NAU accountable. Coordinators also voiced a list of demands for the university.
So we want more transparency. We want to know what Title IX does and how they're handling these cases, and we want to make sure that these survivors their cases get handled with respect.
Others are looking for more from the office that handles sexual misconduct complaints.
I think that they're going to see that people care, and whether or not they do it on their own, we are going to make sure that they make a change.
Organizers say they wanted the event to be a conversation with Title IX, with an anticipated response from a representative of the office.
So we plan on getting Elise Seymour out. She's kind of in charge of Title IX and what they do, and we want her to come out and talk to the people who are there and show them respect by answering their questions.
The organizers say the event was a step in the right direction.
We were talking about the statistics of rapes on campus. There were 60 at NAU from 2018 to 2020. The national average was 6. That is ridiculous. So yes, I do believe this is a step in the right direction to get those numbers down and to make sure people are being held accountable.
Title IX coordinator Elise Morris says she encourages students to exercise their right to voice their concerns.
Well, most universities across our country have students who are involved in some level of activism, and that's a healthy sign that they know that the institution will listen, and I'm very glad that our students are comfortable enough to make their voices heard.
Near the end of the demonstration, Morris met with the protesters to discuss their concerns. Michaela Richardson, NAZ Today. If you or someone you know has experienced sexual violence, contact Victim Witness Services at 928-856-7676 or visit vwscoconino.org.
The Flagstaff City Council met to discuss a petition asking the city to protect women who access or assist with abortion services. Many residents voiced their opinions on the resolution, leading to an almost 5-hour meeting last night. In the end, the council voted to approve the resolution, with only one council member opposed. The resolution does not carry the force of law, but is meant to show the city's opposition to the Supreme Court ruling striking down Roe v. Wade. Sooner or later, warmer weather is coming, and while there is risk of wildfires all year, April is typically the start of fire season. We spoke with wildland fire experts about how we are getting ready. Fire season is just around the corner, and with that comes preparation. Captain Neil Chapman with Flagstaff's Wildland Fire Management Team says several projects are underway around the city, giving them better options for dealing with wildfires.
We know that restoring the natural fire-adapted structure and pattern of a ponderosa pine forest allows us to effectively manage fire, so we can either use fire to do good things and beneficial fire in the forest, or if we want to put it out, we can put it out.
But on areas that are not thinned, particularly private land, the fire risk is higher. Chapman says the city can help.
So if folks want to contact us, we're happy to chat about these strategies that they can do on their private land. We have inspections that we can offer for folks. We actually will go out and visit their property and do an inspection.
Chapman says community members should never let their guard down.
So, Flagstaff, to some degree, we should always be in the ready stage, just knowing our landscape is so fire adapted that you should have some knowledge at all times of what we need to be thinking about for this ready stage. And then you really should have your go bag is kind of what we call it, ready to go. You should have important documents easily available.
Last fire season, we had a dry winter, which helped fuel the massive tunnel fire in early spring. But due to the amount of snowfall Flagstaff has had this winter, Chapman says the risk could be lower in the early parts of the fire season, but there are no guarantees.
Wet winters are always a good thing, both for our water supplies, but also trying to maintain early season fire prevention. It's also something that, later in the fire season doesn't have as much of an impact.
Matt Keenitz, NAZ Today. One way to stay safe during fire season is to make sure you have a go bag ready and are signed up for the Ready, Set, Go program for alerts on evacuations.
A former president of the Navajo Nation has died. Peterson Za passed away late Tuesday night after a long illness. Za was the first elected president of the Navajo Nation after the government was restructured in 1990. He was 85.
NAU's Department of Dental Hygiene is holding a kiddie clinic tomorrow for kids 16 and under to receive free dental care. To find out more, you can call or send an email to the address below. NAU dental students will be providing exams, cleanings, x-rays, and fluoride under the supervision of professionals.
A group of students on the NAU campus are coming together to combat food waste.
NAZ Today's Carson Hawkins joins us in the studio with more.
Thanks, Matt. To combat the excess of food produced in NAU campus dining halls, student-run Food Recovery Network steps in 5 days a week to minimize food waste. Food waste is a significant contributor to climate change. To make sure NAU does its part, Kylie Feld began a chapter of the Food Recovery Network. Since March of 2022, they have diverted over 13,000 pounds of overproduced food. It's packed up from dining halls and then taken to local charities, including Sunshine Rescue Mission.
Food recovery is really important because, one, it puts food in the hands and mouths of people that are experiencing food insecurity that really need it. And it really teaches people about waste and the waste that's created that they don't necessarily see.
However, the club faces its fair share of difficulties.
It's really important to have a broad and consistent volunteer base. So building that was a challenge and sustaining that was a challenge. We ended the school year last year with a lot of momentum, and getting started fall of 2022 this year was kickstarting back up was kind of a challenge and rebuilding that momentum.
Feld says the group also hopes to attack the food waste problem at the source.
Another one of our overarching goals with FRN is to kind of show campus dining the excess waste that they are creating. So it's nice to be able to help people, but it's also a goal to reduce the amount that's being overproduced in the first place.
Volunteers say the club does important work.
I think it's cool because it's a dual approach, both sustainably, reduces food waste, and socially as people who are hungry.
If you would like to get involved with the food recovery program, contact Kylie Feld at naufoodrecoverynetwork@gmail.com. Carson Hawkins, NAZ Today.
Coming up, a homecoming for the survivor of a brutal kidnapping in Mexico. Stay with us.
Now, while we will be seeing some warmer temperatures throughout the week. Heading into this weekend, we will have a chance of showers. I'll have more for you after the break. Stay with us.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Latavia Washington McGee, one of the Americans who survived a kidnapping in Mexico, is due to come home to South Carolina today, according to her mother. Officials say she and 3 others were kidnapped at gunpoint last Friday while in the border city of Matamoros.
That set off a days-long search that ended when they were reportedly found inside of a wooden house. 2 of the 4 were dead. CNN's Gloria Pazmino has the latest.
So I know this all hurt.
The mother of one of the Americans who survived a brutal kidnapping in Mexico says watching video of the abduction was terrifying.
Like trash, they throw them on the trucks, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to get to her.
Her daughter, Latavia Washington McGee, had traveled to Matamoros from South Carolina for cosmetic surgery, but they got lost searching for the clinic, and a group of unidentified gunmen fired on their minivan, loaded the Americans into their vehicle, and drove away.
Shahid and Zell and Eve, they all got shot at the same time, and she watched them die.
Investigators believe the gunmen were members of a drug cartel who may have mistaken the Americans for Haitian drug smugglers. The friends were found days later at a home outside Matamoros. Shaid Woodward and Zindel Brown were dead. One official familiar with the investigation says their remains will be turned over to the U.S. government after a Mexican coroner completes a forensic examination.
Ultimately, we want to see accountability for the violence that has been inflicted on these Americans.
McGee and fellow survivor Eric Williams, who was shot 3 times, are already back in the U.S. where they received treatment at a Texas hospital. In Brownsville, Texas, I'm Gloria Pazmino.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. and finally feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back to NAZ Today. My name is Lindsay Ridgway, and I'll be your student weather forecaster on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Now, taking a look outside into Flagstaff currently. Flagstaff, you're sitting at 45 degrees with that wind chill putting it about 36. Skies, though, are clear with the relative humidity of 36% and south-southwest winds at 26 miles an hour. Now, taking a look at our current satellite, we are seeing some increasing cloud coverage coming over from the coast, and that will affect our weekend and later this week with some rain coming in. But taking a look right now at our daily almanac, like I said, the high today, 45 degrees, a low of 28, not far off of our average of 50 degrees is the high, 23 degrees is the low. But definitely a good 11-degree difference from 1910 with our high of 66 and -1 degrees in 1945. No precipitation yesterday, but like I said, that will be changing in the coming days. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:48 a.m. and our sunset is just in a couple minutes at 6:27 p.m. Now taking a look at our temperatures, our high temperatures today, Kingman, you were at 58 degrees, Sedona at 63, Flagstaff at 45, Grand Canyon at 46 degrees. Now Phoenix, you're definitely warmer, sitting there at 74, and Las Vegas, 62 degrees. In Winslow, you're at 67. But taking a look at tonight's forecast, like I said, that increasing cloud coverage is going to be giving us some cloudy skies with a forecast low of 20 degrees and sunset, like I said, in just a couple minutes at 6:27 p.m. Now taking a look at tomorrow, a forecast high of 50 degrees, still significantly warmer than today. Partly cloudy skies, a sunrise at 6:47 and a sunset at 6:28. With that sun coming out, that means that snow is melting, which is always a good sign. Now taking a look at our forecast temperatures for tomorrow, Flagstaff a high of 50, a low of 20. Sedona slightly warmer with a high of 61 and a low of 40. Phoenix, you're getting closer to your 80 degrees in t-shirt weather, high of 76, low of 52. Lake Havasu, you're over there with a high of 72 and a low of 59. In Page, a high of 57, a low of 36. In Tuba City, a high of 60 and a low of 31 tomorrow. Now taking a look at our Flagstaff extended Tomorrow, like I said, a high of 51, a low of 27, a high of 53 on Friday, a low of 35. We will see that rain, more partial cloud coverage coming in Saturday and Sunday. High of 53 on Saturday, a high of 54 on Sunday, with a low of 30 and 29 respectively. And on Monday, a high of 57 and a low of 32. Now that's all I have for your weather today, but stay tuned after the break for sports with Michael Manny.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
I just found out my work party is a +1. You want to go? This is my boss, Ella.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
You're welcome. Nope, I'm high. But I'll clean the kitchen while you're gone.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
I tell my son, I love you every single day.
I love you.
Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
I'm Rudy Tempesta. I'm 92 years old. I fought in World War II. Then I came home, worked for the post office for 70 years. I've been getting Meals on Wheels, and I enjoy it. The most important thing about Meals on Wheels is you meet the people, which to me is fantastic. You need people to keep your brain moving. That's what life is about. It's love and having a conversation with people.
Good evening and welcome back to NAZ Today. I'm your sports reporter, Michael Manny. A remarkable and historic week in Northern Arizona basketball that began with the Flagstaff Eagles winning the 4A state championship last Thursday continues as both the NAU men's and women's basketball teams came into today with a chance to play for the Big Sky Conference Championship. We start with the most recent result at the top of the last hour. The regular season tri-champion women's team has had an excellent run this season, beating Northern Colorado and Eastern Washington to earn another berth in the championship game. But for the second straight year, they have come up just short of the NCAA tournament, falling to third-seeded Sacramento State 76-63. Emily Rodabaugh had 18 points and went 3 for 6 from beyond the arc, but the Lumberjacks otherwise struggled from the field for much of the game, shooting 25.8% in the half. The Hornets came out the gate out on fire. Senior guard Jordan Oliveris led the way and finished the game with 26 points to lead all scorers. The Lumberjacks shot better in the second half and drew closer at points but could not mount a complete comeback. Unlikely, incredible, incomprehensible, whatever word you want to use for it, the number 9 seed NAU men's basketball team has captivated the nation with its Cinderella run to their first conference championship appearance since 2008 after beating Montana 83-71 last night. Jalen Cohn had 28 points and started the game 5 for 5 from three-point range, and Xavier Fuller had 14 as the Lumberjacks led for nearly the entire game. Standing in the way of their first trip to the Big Dance since 2000, the number 2 seed Montana State Bobcats. The defending champion Bobcats are playing in their third straight title game after outlasting Weber State in a double overtime slugfest last night, 60-58. The Bobcats swept the season series, but NAU lost by just one in their last matchup in Bozeman on February 2nd. They're led by junior guard Raekwon Battle and senior forward Jabril Bello, who had 17 and 12 points against the Wildcats last night. The game tips off at 9:30 Mountain Time, and you can listen to it locally on the Legend 93.5 and AM 930, where Mitch Stroman will have the call, or you can watch it on ESPN2. Well, that's all we have for sports tonight, but stay tuned for your weather recap with Lindsay Ridgway after the break.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to NAZ Today. Flagstaff extended. Partially cloudy skies, Thursday and Friday, high of 51 and 53 respectively. On Saturday, a chance of rain, a high of 53. On Sunday, another chance of rain, a high of 54. And on Monday, heading into spring break here at Northern Arizona, we'll be seeing a high of 57 degrees.
Wow, thanks, Lindsay. And today is International Women's Day, and we wanted to celebrate the women who are a part of NAZ Today.
That's right. A majority of our directors in both news and sports are women that want to get into the business. And that's all we have for you guys tonight. So make sure you tune in on our social media pages and make sure you stay up to date on our YouTube. Have a good night.
What kind of like everyone like this? Hi, how are you?